guys, today we're going to be doing the part 2 of me reacting to your unpopular makeup opinions, and I thought there would be no better time than this because I had just filmed another video, so this look will be coming and it might even be up already, but I'm having some wine and I don't really ever drink, but I'm feeling very sassy today. And I actually filmed this video a couple of days ago, but it turned out that the last 15 minutes of my footage was just lost. I don't know if I forgot to press play on my camera, I don't know what happened, I don't know if I ran out of battery, but I need to refilm this, so I thought there would never be a better time than this to film this. So I should probably give a disclaimer and say that whatever I say in this video, I'm so sorry if it offends you, but I'm gonna blame it on my wine, because if you are easily offended, you should probably leave right now. So basically what we're gonna be doing in this video is I asked you on Instagram and in my community tab to give me your unpopular makeup opinions, and I'm going to react to them. If you have not already seen my first video that I made on this, I will link that in the corner for you. It was pretty funny, but like I said, if you are easily offended and if you gave me something and you don't want to hear the answer because I'm going to disagree with you, I am sorry in advance because I already know that I'm going to disagree with a lot of these. So we're going to start off by the ones that I got on my Instagram, and then we'll move over to my community page after. So this is going to be a long video. Get a snack. I mean, I'm telling you, you're going to be here for a while if you like this kind of content. If not, just, you know, click out. Alright, so let's start with the first one. It says, I don't like highlighters. I have combo oily skin, so I enjoy a bit less shine with makeup. And honestly, I'm so here with you because I have oily skin too, and I know that in a couple of hours after I do my makeup, I'm going to look oily anyway, or dewy as they say. I'm gonna try to say dewy from now on because I feel like greasy and sweaty and oily are like negative words, but like dewy is what the people who have dry skin likes to call what I call greasy, so I'm just gonna call it dewy from now on. But I totally agree, because I know that a couple of hours after I apply my foundation, I'm going to have some oils coming through, and for me, I don't like using too much highlighter because of that, because if the highlighters and the oils kind of mix together, it just ends up being a little bit too much. So I try not to go overboard with highlighters. Like, don't get me wrong, I like highlighters, obviously, who doesn't, but at the same time, I do try to make sure that I don't apply way too much, and I try to kind of reel it back a little bit. So I'm totally here with you for that one. If I see one more cut crease on Instagram, I'm gonna lose it. And I don't know if I agree with this. I am a little bit sick of cut creases. I am a little bit sick of like the very Instagrammable makeup pages where all you see is like one eye close up with very fancy like cut creases and like makeup art, and I feel like it's not very personal. I feel like when I'm looking at someone's Instagram, I want to see what their face looks like. I don't just want to see their eye. Am I the only one? I feel like I want to kind of know who is behind the Instagram page. That's not to say I want to know everything about their life, but I want to at least know what their face looks like. Otherwise, I feel like I can't really connect with someone. Like, I don't like to just see one eye on a whole Instagram page. I want at least a couple of their photos to be a picture of their face, so I at least know who they are. So for that reason alone, I am going to say I'm kind of sick of cut creases too, because most of the accounts who do those kind of makeup looks where they only show one picture of their eye are the ones that are making the cut crease looks, and it's a little bit overdone. I mean, I get it to an extent, because doing cut creases shows your abilities and it shows how creative you can be. It shows how talented you are and how good you are at doing like very precise makeup. And obviously, if you're on Instagram and you have a makeup Instagram account that only focuses on eyeshadow and eye makeup, and you want to grow your account and you want to get recognized by brands, then you kind of have to go that route, because it's like, it's a really good way to show off your skills. But at the same time, I'm just like, I'm so bored, honestly. I wish people would just start doing something else as well. I totally get it. I don't think every look needs lashes and winged liner to look good. I definitely agree with that. I totally agree with that, but I also do feel like, not necessarily with the winged liner, but I feel like I do need at least a bit of liner, even if it's not a wing. I mean, I can't really do a big wing anyway because of my hooded eyes, but I do feel like having a little bit of liner on my upper lash line just makes my eyes pop a little bit more, and it makes them look a little bit more dramatic. But I mean, I don't wear false lashes, so obviously that doesn't really apply to me. I do feel like I need a little bit of liner and mascara at least to be able to be happy with my look, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes I can go without liner, but that's if I have more of a kind of toned down look. Like, if I were to wear something like this, I wouldn't want to not do just a little bit of black liner at least, just to I don't know, there's something about having a little bit of black liner that just makes me feel like my look is more put together. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a wing, but just a little bit of liner, at least I prefer to have that, but I can definitely go without a wing, and I don't do a wing every day at all, so I actually agree with that one too. So that's 3 out of 3 already. I mean, that's pretty good for a start. So the next one says, bronzer looks like a muddy line across the cheek on most people, and I don't think I agree with that. I wouldn't say most people, I would say a lot of people. I do see a lot of people out on the streets who are just wearing the wrong shade of bronzer. It might not be applied badly, but if it's like a very orangey shade, it does not look good. So I mean, I'm with you. I've seen a lot of really bad bronzers out there, but at the same time, a lot of people who do wear makeup are pretty good at bronzing, especially if you're like in the makeup community and you're like on Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. Like most of the people that I watch, I don't really ever have a problem with the way they apply bronzer, and I am not even perfect with applying bronzer. Did I say I am not even? Like, I am not perfect at all in any way when it comes to makeup. So I mean, I've probably made mistakes too, and I'm probably going to continue making mistakes because that is just the nature of makeup. Like, we're all still learning, and I'm sure those people just have not realized yet that orange is not a good color for a bronzer. So hopefully down the line they're going to, you know, get their shit together and realize that maybe they should use a bit more of a cool tone bronzer if it looks a bit orange on their skin. So let's hope that these guys are going to figure it out. Foundation is not needed all the time. I like to wear foundation at all times, but I think I said this in my first one too, but that is mostly my own insecurities because I feel like my look doesn't come together properly without wearing foundation. So that is why I wear foundation. I can't imagine having a full face of makeup on without foundation, but that is just me, and I have so much respect for the people who don't wear foundation. If you don't wear foundation, that is absolutely amazing. The only time I don't wear foundation is when I don't wear makeup at all. So, I mean, it's just personal preference. I think it's great if people are comfortable not wearing foundation, but I am just not one of those people. Sponges are overhyped and overused. I think they work for some products, but not all. So let me ask you this. Have you ever seen me use a sponge on my channel? Pretty sure you have not. So I agree wholeheartedly with that. I think the sponges are overrated too, honestly. I used to use them for a little while just to kind of test them out. I think I went through like a 6-month period where I did use sponges, and I used to kind of bake, and I used to do my foundation with it, concealer with it, and all that. And honestly, it's just kind of a pain in the ass, and I am lazy, so I don't want to have to wash my sponge after every time I use it. And if you don't wash your sponge, it's just gross. So I really like brushes. I don't know, there's something about being able to use a brush for like 6 times in a row and not feel too gross about it. Maybe that is just me, but I don't have a problem using my foundation brush over and over and over again. But when it comes to a sponge, I can't really use that without washing it, without feeling just kind of icky about it. So that's like the main reason I think why I like to use brushes, but it's also just so much quicker and so much easier. I just don't ever see myself going back to using sponges, and there's something about just like bouncing something on your face. It feels kind of aggressive. You know, like I don't need to be pouncing my face every time I do my makeup. Like, I'm so much more okay with just using a bit of a brush and just kind of gently going over my skin, you know, instead of being like super aggressive and like beating the shit out of my face. Like, I don't need to do that. Using your fingers for shadows is the best. You know what? I hate to admit this, but you're probably right, but that doesn't change the fact that I hate doing it. I can't stand it. I don't even know why. Like, I have no problem swatching shadows, but using my finger to put them on my eyes, I think it's just because I don't feel like I'm able to be precise enough with the application. I have really small eyes, and as you can see, my finger basically covers my whole eyelid, so it's not very practical for me. I get it. I can use my finger and then go in with a brush later, but I don't know, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't like using my fingers to apply any kind of makeup product, whether it be a like liquid highlighter or a cream blush. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't like using my fingers. I just don't, but you're probably right, and a lot of shadows do work a lot better with your finger, but I'm still going to keep complaining if the shadows don't work with my fingers, okay? I'm listening to my friend talking to her cat on the phone. Let's move on to something that's not cat talk. So the next one says, this is actually my sister-in-law, so hi Jenna if you're watching this. She says, I hate baking my under eyes. Hate it, hate it, hate it. It's so drying. I don't know if I agree with that. I used to bake a while back when I used to use sponges. You know, we just talked about the sponges that I don't like, but that had nothing to do with baking. I honestly kind of liked baking, but I do have oily skin too, so maybe that is why it worked for me. I don't really know. I didn't feel like it really made my under eyes too cakey, but it could have also been the powder that I was using. I feel like baking, you need to have like the perfect powder for your skin in order for it to look good. Like I totally get like some powders might make it look really drying, but I really think it just depends on the powder that you're using. Let me know if you feel like I'm wrong about this. Have you tried baking, and have you tried with like a lot of different powders? Do some work for you and some don't? Because I've definitely found that on myself. If I pack a lot of a bad powder under my eye, it just looks really drying, but if I use a powder that I really like, it looks really good. So I don't know, I think it just depends on the products you're using, but it could also depend on your skin type as well. I don't really know, to be honest. The next one is interesting. It says lighter / highlighted under eyes make you look older, not prettier. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly, because I'm not a fan of doing like very bright under eyes on myself personally and like the very contoured like super light concealer, but every time I see other people doing it, I think it looks pretty good. So maybe it's just because I don't look very closely. I don't really know. Like I am not the kind of person who will examine someone and like really look up close and like really judge what it is that they're doing. I don't really know. I don't really overthink things. I don't really look at other people and like judge them. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think it looks bad. I think it can be bad if it's done poorly, obviously. Like if it's like way too light, I think it's a bit much. But if you're using a concealer that's like a shade lighter than your foundation, I think it looks fine. But once you're pushing it to like 3 shades lighter, it's a little bit much. But I think it just depends on like the extent of what you mean by highlighted, if you know what I mean. Like it can be done well, but it can also obviously be done really poorly. I don't like the feeling of mascara, so I don't wear it despite having bold eye looks. I don't think I could do that. I think that's great that you're able to do that, but I think for me, my lashes are so important to my completed look. At least I feel like it is. Like I never feel like my look comes together until I put on my mascara and my liner, and I know that's how a lot of people feel about fake lashes, and I don't want to get to a point where I'm addicted to fake lashes, which is why I try not to wear them ever, because I know if I were to get really good at that, I would probably love the look so much that I wouldn't want to not wear mascara ever again. So I don't know, there's something for me about mascara that I just feel like I really need it. But if you don't feel that way, I think that is awesome. And I mean, you do you. Like, I don't care what you do. I think if you think you look good, I'm probably going to think you look good as well, because you're confident and you're rocking it while you're wearing it. So good for you is all I'm gonna say. And the last thing I need right now is more wine, but cheers. Don't hate me, but I don't like eyeshadow on my lower lash line. I don't know why I would hate you because of that. I mean, I feel like if you don't like eyeshadow on your lower lash line, who am I to judge how you do your makeup? You know what I mean? Like, I think as long as you are confident and you feel okay with not having shadow on your lower lash line, I think that is great. But personally, I don't think I would wear a look without doing shadow on my lower lash line, because I feel like it looks a little bit disproportionate. Maybe it's because I pull my shadows up really high, so you know, it's just going to look more balanced if I have something underneath my eye as well. But if you don't pull your shadows up as high as I do, it's probably going to look good still. And like I said, I don't really care what you do, and I think as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. So that was all for my Instagram. I think we're gonna move on to my community page now, but if you're not already following me on Instagram, I think you should. So my Instagram is just Annette's Makeup Corner, because I am not very fancy and I like to keep it the same across the board. So if you're not already following me, go follow me, because I want to talk to you guys, because it's fun to have private message conversation with all of you. So let's move on to the community page now. I actually have more on here than I did on Instagram, so I think this might still end up being a pretty long video. I'm sorry, but I'm really not. So the first one here says, you can wear whatever color eyeshadow you want in your eyes regardless of the color of your eyes. I hate when people say blue eyes can't wear blue eyeshadows, or brown eyes shouldn't wear brown eyeshadows. If it makes you feel good, wear whatever color you want. There's no right or wrong way to do your eyeshadow. Completely agree. I literally don't care what I put on my eyes. Now I do have brown eyes, which it makes it a lot easier to, you know, contrast with your eyes, because I don't like browns on myself. So basically whatever I put on my eyes is going to contrast with my eye color. But if I had blue eyes, I would still wear blue eyeshadow. That wouldn't stop me at all, and I really wouldn't care what people said. But I mean, I understand that there are some colors that if you have blue eyes, you have green eyes, maybe green or blue might not be the most flattering colors, but like, who cares? Like, wear what you want. Like, there's no rules in makeup, and if people say you can't wear that, just spit on them. I don't know. No, please don't do that. All that damn concealer that people pack in the center of their face to highlight. I agree. I think it's a bit much sometimes. I do think the whole like highlighting and contouring thing, people take it a bit too far. Like, I think it's just a bit much. Sometimes if you go way too out of hand with that shit, it doesn't look good. It might look good for a photo, but I've seen some people in real life and I've just been like, I don't know about that. Seasonal makeup. For example, this is a fall look. Why can you only do your makeup like that in the fall? This is the perfect winter lipstick. Why can't you wear it in the summer? This is the perfect summer palette, but why only in the summer? Bugs the shit out of me. I could not agree more. I really don't care what season I am in, but I will admit that in the summer I am definitely drawn more towards like kind of lighter pastel colors, rainbow colors, very bright colors, even though saying that I'm literally wearing a Christmas look today and we're like in the middle of June, so you know, it really doesn't matter. I say wear whatever you want. I get it though, like from a company standpoint, obviously something that is more kind of geared towards the summer is going to sell better in the summer because of the color selection. And like myself, like I said, I am drawn more to certain colors in the summer than I am in the winter, so that's probably just why people say that. I mean, in general, I don't really agree with there having to be seasons when it comes to makeup, and I think that if you want to wear a rainbow look in December, it shouldn't really matter, like as long as it makes you happy. I feel like that's going to be the theme of this video. As long as it makes you happy, I don't care what you do. There is nothing wrong with wearing an unnatural colored highlight. I don't care if it's green, blue, or purple, as long as it doesn't cast a shadow looking forward. I am here for it. Girl, I'm here for it too. And like you said, as long as it doesn't cast a shadow, that is my biggest pet peeve when it comes to colored highlighters, because I find that a lot of them are just simply too light, especially the blue ones. Like, I feel like I just have gray on my face when I look straight ahead, but obviously you get that beautiful blue shift when you turn your head. But I'm not about looking weird when I'm looking straight ahead. Like, I really don't want my highlighter to show at all when I'm looking straight ahead. So if I can find a highlighter that's of a color that I can still wear that looks good on my skin tone, I absolutely love it. I love colored highlighters, but I don't have a lot of them because, like I said, it's just hard to find some that really works for my skin tone without leaving that ugly cast on your face. But I think colored highlighters can be so pretty, and I do prefer highlighters that have a bit of a shift to them. They don't necessarily have to be colored as in like a green highlighter or a purple highlighter, but something with maybe like a peachy shift or like a bit of a gold shift or a bit of like a corally shift or something like that. I think that's absolutely beautiful. My friend Prue says, I don't understand how anyone does their makeup with crazy acrylics and those diamantes. You need to explain that to me. I don't know what that means. I feel like that probably means like really pointy nails or something. I don't know if is that a term I should know? Diamantes? I don't know, but I totally get what you're saying. I don't understand how people can honestly do anything with like super long acrylic nails. Like, I have so much respect for that. Like, if you can walk around and have like, you know, your nails up to here, good for you, because I think it looks really cool, but it's just not very practical. I get gel nails done all the time because my nails are so weak, but I literally can't have them any longer than this because I can't text, I can't type, I can't edit, I literally can't do anything. Like, I don't know how people do it, honestly. I really don't. So I feel like I should drink every time I do this, every time I film, I mean, because I'm having a hella good time today, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't really ever drink, so I don't want to get used to drinking, if you know what I mean, but I'm having a lot of fun today. Let's move on. So it says, I also hate that daily makeup routines aren't simplified anymore. Excessive unblended contour, 25 products used, etc. Nighttime looks worn in the day, etc. I feel like this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Do whatever the hell makes you happy. I don't care what you wear. If you want to wear a full face of makeup at 7 a.m. in the morning, go for it. More power to you. If that makes you feel pretty, then I think that is great. And I am kind of like, I never judge people for the makeup they wear. Like, sometimes you might look at someone and be like, you know, maybe your contour is not completely blended, but at the same time it's like, you know what, if that makes you happy, you do you know, you're gonna rock it. I really don't care. As long as you feel good, you can do whatever you want. And I don't really ever feel like there should be rules in makeup. I've said this so many times, but there should never be a rule that says that you can't do whatever you want during the day and then you have to do something different during the night. It doesn't have to be like a day to night look. And I've had some people request me do a day to night look, and I'm like, I honestly wouldn't know how to do that, because if I know I'm going out at night, I'm going to do my night makeup in the morning when I'm doing my makeup. I'm not going to change my makeup, you know, halfway through the day. Like I don't do that. Like that's not my thing. Like I will do my makeup for the occasion that I'm the most excited about, if that makes any sense. I don't know, but it could also be because I don't have a job and I don't need to wear anything work appropriate anywhere. So I don't know what I would do, honestly. If I had to wear a very like subtle makeup during the day and then go out at night, I would probably just not change it, to be honest, or I would leave enough time in between so I could like do a full face of makeup again when I got home. I really don't know what I would do. That would actually be a very interesting video. Let me know if you want to see that. Actually, I probably don't want to do that. I don't know what I said that, but let me know if you want to see that anyway. Well, maybe I could do like a hypothetical what I would do if I were to have a job and I would have to wear like work appropriate makeup and then make it work for night. I don't know. It wouldn't be a very informative video, but it could be fun, possibly. I don't know. Halo eye makeup. It looks unflattering and weird, especially when both the inner and outer corners are dark. I don't know about that. I kind of wish I was wearing a halo eye today, to be honest. I don't know. I wish I was wearing a halo eye. I like halo eyes. I do think that some people are maybe not the best at doing them for their eye shape, and maybe that's why it's looking a little bit weird. I don't know. I like it. I feel like even if you have something dark on your inner corner, as long as you put just a little bit of something extra like right in here to brighten it up, I think it looks fine. Like I feel like I could even do black like right on the inner corners here and then still have a bit of a pop on the inner corner and it would look fine. I feel like I've said inner corner a lot. Did I mean like the inner part of my lid? That's probably what I meant. I didn't mean the inner corner when I said all of those things. I mean if I put something very dark on like the inner part of my lid and then put something in the inner corner, as long as it's something that's like kind of bright, it's going to make up for it being dark in the inner part of my lid, if that makes sense. I don't know. I like halo eyes. I have nothing against them. I think they look good on most people, honestly. Palettes over $50 can often be duped with cheaper palettes. You're paying for the name, not the quality. I definitely think that to an extent you're absolutely right, and I think that goes for everything that has a brand name that is very well known attached to it, whether it be fashion, whether it be even food. You know, like anything that has a name that you recognize is probably going to be more expensive than something that you don't. And I will say that I'm not the biggest fan of like very inexpensive eyeshadow palettes, but I kind of lean more in like the mid-range, if you will, so like kind of like the Urban Decay prices, but in a indie brand kind of format, if that makes sense. I'm not really a fan of like Maybelline and Wet n Wild and those kind of eyeshadows. Haven't tried Makeup Revolution. Some people hate them, some people love them, but they do have some good palettes, but I don't feel like I want to waste my money taking the risk to buy something that is really, really cheap. So for me, for eyeshadows, I don't mind splurging because eyeshadow is my favorite part of makeup, as I'm sure you guys already know. So it's just one of those things that if there's anything I'm going to spend a little bit extra money on, it's going to be eyeshadows. Now that's not to say I'm going to run out and buy every Pat McGrath palette, because I think they are absolutely overpriced and you're basically just paying for the name when it comes to especially Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona. Does that mean I don't want them? No, not at all. Like I would love all of them, but I do agree with you to an extent, but it's like kind of like a yes and no answer, I suppose. Blush is better than highlighter. Ooh, this is a tough one. I don't know if I could choose because I really, really, really like blush. I think I would choose blush over highlighter, to be honest, because if I were to only wear highlighter and not a blush, I don't think I would feel happy, because I need my blush. I need that little bit of color on my cheek. It just makes me so happy. I don't think I could possibly choose highlighter over blush. I just don't. So I guess I would have to say I agree with you, but I like both. I don't want to have to choose. It's not fair. I use some lip liners as eyeliners. I don't know if this is safe, but it has never bothered my eyes and they stay in my waterline just as long. I think you're brave. I've honestly never tried that. I've never even thought about trying that, but it makes me intrigued. But at the same time, I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing that. It's weird. Like I can use my Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks on my eyes and then use them on my lips the day after and then alternate between the two, and it doesn't bother me. But for some reason, using a lip liner in my eye, there's something about that just makes me feel a little bit weird about it. Like I'm sure it's probably not a big deal, and I'm sure that the lip liners are like kind of the same formula as an eyeliner because they're meant to be long lasting, so I can totally see them working, but I don't know if I have it in me to try that. Let me know if any of you guys have tried that. Do you sometimes, is it really bad to like alternate between eyes and lips? I feel like it is, especially when you can't really clean things in between like I do with my liquid lipstick sometimes, but like I've never had any issues, so I guess I'm just gonna keep doing it. I don't know why I feel so weird about putting a lip liner in my eyeline, but I don't do that. I hate reviews based on first impressions. You cannot recommend makeup by judging how it looks newly applied. That's why I appreciate you make more than one video to make a full review. I couldn't agree more. That's not to say that I don't like first impression videos, but I always take them with a grain of salt, and I watch first impressions mostly because of the entertainment value, if I'm being honest. It's fun to see people try on new things for the first time. I like trying on new things for the first time, which is why I do my first impressions with basically every palette that I get, because it's just fun to kind of document how I feel about something the first time I try it. But I also want to make sure that I'm very clear in that something is just a first impression, because I've definitely had my opinions changed about products, you know, down the line when I've tried it more. But I will admit though that for the most part my first impressions are pretty accurate to what ends up being my reviews, so I don't feel too bad if I don't do like a follow-up on a certain product. Like I do feel like I'm pretty okay with giving you my first impression if I just simply don't have time to do a full review, but I'm still not going to call my first impression a review, if that makes sense, and I totally get it. I hate when people call first impressions reviews and they do it only for the views and only so that people who are searching for reviews are going to find their video even if it's a first impression. Like I don't like that at all. But like I said, I do like watching first impression videos and I do like doing them, but I also like doing review videos, so I totally get where you're coming from. So the next one is interesting. I don't think I replied to this one in the video that I filmed previously that got deleted, but I do want to kind of touch on this now, and it says, how can we trust major influencers? I feel like some are honest, but most are bought out by major companies to push their products. And the drama, why can't they get back to tutorials and honest reviews? This is why I love your channel. No scandal, no drama, just beautiful makeup and honest opinions. Let me tell you why people don't stick to tutorials anymore, because tutorials just don't get a lot of views, and it's why I don't do tutorials on my channel. I do tutorials on my channel, but I never call them just tutorials. I try to make them into, you know, a 3 looks 1 palette video or something else that's just not a tutorial, if you know what I mean. And drama just gets more views. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Whenever someone makes a negative video, I've noticed even in my own videos that if there's anything negative, even in my thumbnail, in my title, even if I do like a kind of clickbaity thumbnail where it looks like it might be a negative review, it just gets more views. And like that is why people do it, because people like money. I really try, and I pride myself on not using clickbait and not doing it because of the views, and I try to really stick to content that I like doing. But I also know that tutorials just don't get a lot of views, so I try my best to like be creative in the content that I do make, and I try to make it into something that it's not, even if it is. Does that make sense? Like even if I'm doing a tutorial, I try not to call it that and like call it something else, and make sure that I'm doing something else that isn't just me teaching you how to do the makeup and I bring in a little bit of like fun into it. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I totally get what you're saying though. I do have a hard time trusting major influencers, but maybe that just means it's time for you to move on to watching smaller influencers. I never watch the bigger influencers for reviews for that reason. I don't trust their opinions. I still like to watch some of them because I think they're funny. I enjoy the high quality content of their channels. I enjoy like the video production of their videos, but whatever they're talking about, I really don't care about. And I feel like it's just part of like being a big influencer, is that, you know, they're going to be working with companies and they don't want to piss off the companies, and that's just something that we as consumers have to be aware of, I feel like, and just take everything they say with a grain of salt. But we can still watch them and still enjoy them, but just not take their word for every single thing that they say, and just know that maybe they are a little bit biased at times, and don't trust everything, you know? Influencers not using discontinued or limited edition products because they are catering to brands and new releases. It's understood that you need to keep content fresh, but some of my favorite videos are throwbacks because it inspires us to use products we have forgotten about and still own. Video idea: recreating current trends using older palettes. I like that idea. I think that's a cool idea, But I will say that the reason why I try not to use like discontinued or limited edition products on my channel is simply just because I feel bad. Like if I am sitting here talking about how much I love something and then a lot of people are like, I want to get that too because that looks so nice, I'm gonna feel bad because I don't want to be recommending products that people aren't able to buy. And I know a lot of people really want stuff that, you know, has been limited edition and has been discontinued, and I don't want to kind of rub that in their wounds, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be that person. Like I want to show you the products that I have that you can still buy if you want them. I try never to push products on anybody. I never tell anybody to buy anything. But if for whatever reason you like what I'm using and you want to purchase it, then I want it to be available. So I try not to use or at least buy products that are limited edition. Not to say I don't buy any. I mean, right in front of me I have the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter and I love this. But for the most part, I try, especially with eyeshadow palettes, I try not to buy anything that's limited edition because eyeshadow palettes are something that, you know, I use on my channel all the time, and I feel like I could easily do throwbacks with all of the palettes in my collection and not feel bad about it, just because none of the ones that I have really are limited edition. There are very few, like the Paulina palette by Blush Tide. If you haven't already bought that, I think it's still available. I will link it down below if it is. It's such an amazing palette and I'm so happy they restocked it. So go check that out if you've been wondering about that palette. But in general, there's just nothing that I like to buy that is limited edition because I feel bad. That's really the only reason. Morphe setting spray sucks. That's how I feel about that. I love a good metallic lip or my liquid lip top with duochrome or holographic eyeshadow. Yes, I do. I have no shame. I love the look of eyeshadow on my lips, or on other people's lips I should say. I don't like the feel of it myself. I don't like the grit that it gives. I do like metallic lipsticks though. I think they are really pretty and some can be super cool, and I do wear them from time to time. It's not something that I reach for a lot, but I do like the look of them. Depending on the look that I'm going for, if I have a metallic lipstick that I feel like is going to look good with my look, I'm definitely going to wear it, and I feel like I need to wear my metallic lipsticks more often. I actually have quite a few of them and I really do like them, so thank you for reminding me that I have so many, because I need to pull them back out and get some more use out of them because I like metallic lipsticks and I don't care if people don't. Powder sucks. Setting your makeup powder. Bronzers and eyeshadow are fine. I don't know about that. I mean, I could not do my makeup without powder. I've said it before, I have oily skin. It's going to look absolutely ridiculous. So I need powder. If you have dry skin, you probably don't need powder. I feel like powder is a very personal thing. I couldn't imagine making my makeup last for like 12 to 14 hours without wearing powder. I just don't know how that would be physically possible, even with the best primers, which let's not even talk about primers because I feel like primers don't work at all, and I feel like a lot of people agree with me because a lot of you said this here and I didn't want to touch on it because I touched on that in my first video, but I don't think I could go without powder, honestly. Like, I just don't think that my makeup would hold up. It would probably look good for a couple hours at most, but after that it would just break apart. Okay, so let's do a couple more. I don't have a lot left. So this one says, paying $20 for a glittery clear lip gloss is absolutely ridiculous and unnecessary. I agree with you, but I have some of those, so I don't know if I am contradicting myself. I probably am. I definitely spend more money on lip gloss than I probably should. I do love me a good lip gloss though, I will say that, so I'm definitely a sucker. I don't know about a clear lip gloss though, even though one of the lip glosses that I do have, let me show you. So this is from Dior, and I think this was $32, $28, somewhere around that line. But the reason why I bought this was because I didn't really have a clear lip gloss, and I thought that having a good clear lip gloss would be a good investment because I could wear it literally on top of every lipstick that I own. But it goes to show that this actually kind of sucks, and I hate it because it breaks up every single lipstick that I put it on top of. And I don't think goes to show was the right saying for that, but like I said, I've had some wine and I don't really care to repeat myself. But this one kind of sucks and it's not good. So if this is what every clear lip gloss is like, then I agree with you. I don't think spending $20 on a clear lip gloss is necessary at all. And if you spend more than that, like myself, you're probably an idiot and you should just go to the drugstore and get a Wet n Wild one, because that one that I own is so much better. So moral of the story, don't buy a Dior lip gloss because they were terrible. Let's call this the last one, okay? So this one says, you do not need both bronzer and blush. They sometimes look better if it's just on its own. I don't know if I would be happy wearing just bronzer and just blush. I feel like I would feel like something is missing, but I can see what you're saying, and I can see that sometimes it looks a little bit muddy if they're kind of just like layered on top of each other and not like being very precisely placed or correctly placed. I totally see what you're saying, so I don't know if I agree with that or disagree with that, to be honest. I think for the most part I prefer the look of both blush and bronzer, but I can also see some looks being really nice with just blush or just bronzer depending on the look. So I'm gonna say I'm kind of like in between on that, and I think you can go either way, but personally I like wearing both, and that's just how I like to do my makeup. But if I saw someone out wearing just bronzer or just blush, I probably wouldn't even think twice, and I would just be like, oh, nice makeup. So I'm going to just say that I am pretty indifferent about that one. And yeah, I think that's going to be all of the unpopular opinions for this time. I don't think I'm going to end up doing a part 3 to this, but if you insist and you think you have something to add to this, let me know. Probably won't be doing, I don't know how many other unpopular opinions there can really be. I mean, probably a lot. So if you really want to see it, let me know, and I can probably do so. Let me know if I should like not drink during my videos, because maybe I'm a little bit too chatty, and maybe I was all over the place in this video, and maybe I spoke too fast, and maybe my brain was just not functioning correctly. I really don't know, but I had a lot of fun filming this video, so I hope you guys had fun too. If you want to see some similar content, I will pop some up on the screen for you right now, so you can go check those out and keep watching. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I promise I won't be drunk next time or have some drinks. But anyway, I will hopefully see you all in my next video. Bye.